Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy, and I'm here to start week 21 of 2023. So, let's just get into it, and happy Monday. So typically I start my weekly vlogs on the weekend, but I just got stuck doing stuff last night, and then it got super late, and I just kind of went to bed. So we have a little bit of catch up to do today, but let's just get into it, and hopefully it won't be quite as long as a first clip video as it was last week, because holy moly. Just in other happy news, life news-ish, the Nuggets won tonight. They swept the Lakers, so they have won the Western Conference Championship. I'm not a big basketball fan. You can call me a bandwagoner. I'll throw on the games every once in a while, just as background noise, but I really don't watch them until playoff time. Guys, I'm into too many sports, and hockey takes most of my mental capacity, and then when football overlaps, football's number 2, and so it's just, I don't get into basketball, but when I'm watching the game, I get into it. I am a sports fan. So that was super exciting. I ended up having to listen to the radio version on the Nuggets app, which is weird because I tried listening to it on the radio. I tried watching it on ESPN and it wouldn't pop up. So I don't know if they had it blocked in Colorado, but I didn't see any other channel to watch it on. So I don't know what happened there. And I just get so annoyed because I have ESPN Plus. But if I'm paying for ESPN Plus, why am I not allowed to access live streaming of normal ESPN? If I'm paying to have extra access, why do I not have normal access? I don't get that. But anyway, then I was trying to listen to the radio, and I listened it to my Amazon smart device, and then I tried listening to it on the app on my phone, and it was just giving me the national broadcasts. So when the local people aren't doing active shows, it goes to the national broadcast radio, late night radio shows. And I was I know it's on. So I had to download the Nuggets app and listen to it on that. So I don't know. I just don't understand why they make it so much more difficult to fans of teams to be able to watch and listen to their shows or to the games when they make it in the playoffs. It shouldn't be more difficult. I have the same issue with the Avalanche too when we hit playoffs, but I know all the tips and tricks with them, so it's second nature to me, but I don't know. I'm excited. It's the first time that the Nuggets have won the conference championship in their entire existence, so this will be pretty exciting. I can't wait, and yeah, I'm rooting for the Nuggets to potentially take home the championship for the NBA, so that would be great. But anyway, let's do the quest calendar, and let's get that done first. So, if you are new here, I have been playing the 2023 quest calendar created by Sundial Games. This is a daily calendar style game that's basically a tabletop role-playing game that you can do solo-wise. So it is D20 based, so think Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, D20 Modern, that type of system. The theme this year, as you can see, is the Void Spark Chronicles, and what that is sci-fi space opera theme, so think Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Firefly. I mean, I could go on and on. But, so that is the theme for this year. Now, I do get the deluxe edition that comes with the hero companion book. I highly recommend this if you decide to get the game. It has they have made some changes for 2023, which I was pretty excited about. Everything is now in landscape format, and then for our ship and our character equipment. We now have reusable stickers, and it comes with a special set of markers to use on this type of lamination. And then it has like all the rules and everything. And then all of the basic stuff that you get when your character levels up. If you play one of the characters that they give you the option to choose between, you can also create your own character. But if you choose one of those, a lot of that level up stuff that everybody gets, like for your class being leveled up, is already taken care of. So you don't have to completely remake your character sheet, which is nice when you level up. But here is who we have been playing as Zarilla Tur. Her race is Urzen, and she is a mystic, so she's kind of like a force type user, Jedi-ish type character. And then I will also show you, it also comes with our ship, the Karnak. So there's our kind of ship, which is super fun. Okay, so let's do a basic rundown of what the game looks like, and then we will get into playing it. Like I said, we have a little bit of catch up to do, so we will have 2 days to do. So here is Friday's page, and as you can see, we usually get a big chunk of artwork. All of the script type font is going to be the story of what's going on, and then usually this block style font, it's typically in a box, is going to be the mechanics of what we are going to be doing to play through the story for that day's page. And everything we need to know for the results of this are on the back, as you can kind of see. I'm trying not to spoil things, but on the back of the previous day page, so you can keep from spoiling yourself. I will also say Saturdays and Sundays are combined into one day on the calendar, so you only get 6 days out of a week to play the game, but we have some catch up to do. So we, as you can tell from Friday's thing, are getting prepared to go out and do a spacewalk and kind of assess some damage that happened to our ship. Woo! And so here we go, we are spacewalking. So this is Saturday and Sundays. So you step out of the airlock with Askell and some tools. You are greeted by the immense vastness of an empty black void. Seeing the state of the hull of the ship, you clearly have a lot of work to do. So number 1, get acclimated to spacewalk, which is a constitution roll. And 2, be careful not to slip or hurt yourself, which is a dexterity roll. Reminder, athlete. All right, so let's see if there's any other information that we need to worry about here. And I guess not. Okay, so we'll just get into it. So get acclimated to spacewalk. And our constitution is a +1. So I will roll our d20 and add 1. And that is a 15. So 16. Okay, if the result is 15 or more, your body and mind quickly adapt to the feelings of weightlessness in the void of space. Cool. Okay, super fun. And then on to number 2. Be careful not to slip or hurt yourself. So our dexterity is a +4, and we do have athlete, which gives us another +2. So we get a total of +6 for this roll. So let's see, is that a 14 or a 19? That I believe is a 14. Yep, that's a 14. So 20 total. Okay, if the result is 11 or more, you take your time and move carefully. You have no trouble traversing the exterior of the Karnak. Cool, so that's it. And then there is a new little event that they added in 2023, and that is this box here. It is called the Sunday Lottery. And what that is we have the choice when we play the weekend page to roll a d6. If we roll a 1 or a 2, we lose a little bit of money. But if we roll a 3 or higher, we have the option to gain a little bit of money. So might as well do it. Doesn't hurt to potentially gain a little bit of credits. And the max that we can lose is 2 credits anyway, which isn't that much. So might as well do it, you know? And that is a 5. So we get to gain 3 credits. So I will get that added to our character sheet. But let's move on. So we are doing our spacewalk. So let's see what today, Monday's page brings. I'm guessing we're going to be doing some repairing. Okay, yep. That looks like a close-up of the ship. You and Askell approach the biggest piece of functional damage on the hull of the ship. It will take the both of you to fix this. So number 1, remove the heavy broken panel, a strength roll reminder athlete. 2, unclog the optronic shift manifold, a wisdom roll reminder engineering. And then 3, reestablish connection to the terminal, an intellect roll reminder computers. Okay, we've got a lot going on. Okay. And it looks like we have some extra stuff here. So, number 1, remove the heavy broken panel. A large panel prevents proper access to fix the manifold. It would otherwise be easy to unbolt and move if it wasn't so heavily dented. So, strength reminder athlete. So our strength is -2, but once again, athlete gives us a +2. So it's just going to be whatever we roll. Let's roll well. Come on, little die. Okay, 18. Okay, that's pretty good. So that is what it is. If the result is 15 or more, you get the panel out of the way so you can access the internal components. Perfect. Okay, number 2, unclog the optronic shift manifold. Space dust, debris, and moon fragments have wedged their way into the intake sensor. So this is wisdom reminder engineering. Now, we do not have engineering, but our wisdom is a +4. So let's see what happens there. And that is a 15, so 19 total. If the result is 15 or more, you successfully fix the manifold. Gain a +4 bonus to reestablish a connection. Number 3 below. Okay, so reestablish connection to the terminal. The last step is to make sure the computers on the bridge can communicate with the manifold. If you have broken terminal noted down from an earlier page, we do not. So we get intellect reminder computers. We do have computers, which is a +2. Our intellect is a 1, so that's a +3. And then we get the +4 bonus from our previous step. So +7. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we rolled a 13, so 20 total. Okay. If the result is 15 or more, you successfully fix the manifold and the connections to the bridge. If all compartments are at full integrity, add 1 ship parts to your inventory. Otherwise, restore 1 point of integrity to any ship compartment. And I haven't taken the time to heal our ship because I totally spaced to look up when we're allowed to heal our ship. So that's perfect. That'll save us a ship part in the future. Okay, so our bridge has 1 integrity. Our labs have taken 2 integrity damage. And our cargo has also taken 2 integrity. And the labs and the cargo both have 4 max integrity, so there's not one that's like hurting more than the other. So I'll just go ahead and do it to the labs, I guess, because that one's on top. So I will erase 1 mark here of integrity damage. Okay, cool, great. And that's it. That's it for the quest calendar for today. So that wasn't too bad. Okay, so while I get all this kind of cleaned up, let's talk about books. So Friday night, I had planned to start The Fourth Wing. But I was trapped under the cat. And Fourth Wing wasn't on my coffee table in reach, and I couldn't reach any of the books that I had on my TBR, so I was like, crap, but I could reach my Kindle. So I ended up, I know, I could have just asked her, I could have just forced her to move, but she was sleeping and twitching and she was so cute. But anyway, so I was looking at my Kindle and I was looking at my prompts, and currently going on is the hikeathon, and the only prompt that I hadn't had a specific book planned for was a book involving a game. And then one of my 2 prompts I have left for the Pretty board game quarterly challenge was it has a really long prompt with a couple different options, but one of the options is something on the cover that you play with. And so I was thinking of picking up a sports romance for that had some of the sports equipment, paraphernalia type stuff on the cover. And then Jen from the Book Refuge announced that she was recently going to be doing a surprise author hangout with Sarah Nay, who I have read her Douchebag series. I've read her Jock Row series. I actually own almost all of the Jock Row books in paperback. I was a big fan of that series back when I read it. And I decided, okay, let's check one of her books out. And I have a couple of her series that I haven't read yet, but I decided to pick up How to Lose at Love. This is the first book in her Campus Legends series, and I believe the second book, that's why she's kind of doing these interviews, is because the next book to come out is book 2 in this series, I think. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's try her new series and see how it goes. And I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. I was kind of disappointed in this. And I started it Friday night and I didn't finish it till like pretty late Sunday night. I just kept finding other things that I wanted to do instead of reading this book, and I kept wanting to just like finish it. And maybe that was a sign that I should have DNF'd it, but at the same time, like, I did enjoy it for the most part. A 3-star for me isn't a bad read. A 3-star for me is, it was okay. It was fine. So it was better than that. I gave it 3.5. My biggest issues here. So basic premise of this. I'm going to try not to go on too long about it. We have Ryan, who is our heroine, and she is dating someone on the football team, and it's been 2 months. They haven't kissed. She keeps trying to like leave signals that she's interested in moving forward and seeing if their relationship can take a more physical approach. And she's just like, you know, she pushes her thigh against him and she's touching him flirtily, and he just isn't picking things up, but he is kind of feeling in a rut with her. And so he cajoles and convinces his teammate Dallas for $50 to go break up with her for him. And Dallas ends up doing this. And it's like raining or snowing or something. And so then he offers her a ride home from her work because he's going to the movie theater across from the diner that she waitresses at. And then they kind of strike up this acquaintance-ish relationship, which kind of turns into fake dating because Dallas, you know, he's a hotshot football player. He's supposed to be going into the next draft. He already has an agent. His older brother is a professional football player. His father was a professional football player. His younger brothers, who are twins, which is fun, are also on the football team. So they're just a huge football family. And his agent is like, you're not seen with anybody. You don't really seem like you have a social life very much, but we don't want you to have the social life as like the party college kid. So he's like, try to find yourself in some areas or hang out with someone who's a little more wholesome. So he ends up asking Ryan to kind of hang out with him. And of course, you know, they're attracted to each other, but they don't think that each other are attracted to each other because of some things that were said. And then they find out that they actually have a class together. And so they start kind of hanging out and they become friends and then more. And it's their relationship. Now, where I kind of was getting bored and struggling with this is a few different things. First of all, we have other woman drama, although it's not really other woman drama. It's the next door neighbors, and they're kind of cleat chasers, but they're also like, you can see that they're just trying to have an in with these athletes who are potentially going to go on to be professional athletes, and they want that boost to become like, there's a lot of talk about how like they want to be influencers and big social media presence and just want to spend the money, and they want what they think is the lifestyle of being the significant other of an athlete. And Dallas wants no part of it. And there's a couple girls that live next door. And so I just really didn't like that the other women that we see in this book, even slightly Ryan's best friend, are just not good to other women. And they're not good to Ryan. And it's that case of like, we're going to make every other woman horrible except our heroine so that we root for the heroine. And then, you know, one of them gets some money to try to fake pose in pictures to make it look like he's having a love triangle kind of a thing. She's approached by a paparazzi. And then, of course, you know, that's the big conflict is he was caught in this picture and nobody believes him, which is weird. His mother doesn't believe him. His brothers believe him because his brothers were in the house and they saw the kind of saw the situation go down. But what's weird is Ryan's best friend is like, are you going to listen to him? Are you going to hear him out? Because this is just a picture and you can't actually see anything that's going on in this picture. They're just talking. And we know that she's always over there because she's trying to get in with his brothers. And Ryan flat out ignores him for a couple weeks. And her friend is just like, just hear him out. And so I was like on the friends team. I was like, this girl is being stupid. She's being overreactional. I mean, I get it. You've only been with him for a couple days officially, or like a week officially dating. And it's a lot to be dealing with the paparazzi stuff. And he's kind of a mini celebrity in the athlete realm. And he's supposed to be the big new #1 draft pick. And I get that that is a lot to take onto yourself, and, you know, it's a different kind of lifestyle than she's used to. But it just felt like too dramatic for where their relationship is. And she's kind of played as like this smart heroine who, you know, she's snarky and sassy, but, you know, she kind of tells it like it's straight, and both of her parents are marriage counselors. So she has a pretty good grasp on her own mental awareness and mental situations. And yeah, I mean, she's not perfect, but I just thought that was kind of unnecessary, the way that it got drug out. And then the other big thing is, I could have swore he scored like 3 touchdowns, and the way it was talked about made me think, as a football fan, that he was maybe not running back, but he was something like wide receiver, someone out running routes, some like offensive line type situation. And then near the end of the book, it turns out he's the quarterback. And I was like, what? And then even more doubly what, because if he was the quarterback, he would, and he's a junior getting ready for the draft, it's this big deal. Wouldn't he be the captain of the team? I mean, a lot of the times, the captain is the quarterback. And if he's the quarterback, he has a lot more influence over his teammates. He's a lot more with his teammates and integrated with his teammates and taking like ownership of the team in a way. And I didn't understand it. I was like, why is he suddenly the quarterback? Because the way his personality is and the way that we saw him react with only like 2 of his other teammates didn't say quarterback to me. And I know everybody's different, but I think still the basic role of a quarterback is being like the leader of your football team. I don't know where that was. So I thought that was I was like, that's weird. And then there was also some fourth wall breaking moments, writing style wise, where all of a sudden they'd be like making snarky comments to like the reader, almost like standing up for themselves. And he was like trying to be played off as like this geeky nerdy guy because don't even disrespect Star Wars, or yeah, I have Legos, but he's like saying it to the reader in a one-off comment, but we never actually saw him with this nerdy stuff at all. So it just kind of felt like random things thrown in to get readers, I don't know, to identify with him more or to like him more or something weird. But that actually wasn't even really ever brought up again. And he didn't really seem like a nerd to me. I mean, when they sit down and watch stuff, I mean, she mostly watched stuff, but there were moments where it was funny and there were moments where I was enjoying it, but then something like that would take me out of it. And that's when I was finding it way too easy to put down the book, is when something jarring like that would happen. And then I'd just be like, seriously. So, I mean, it's been a while since I've read Serenade. This one just didn't quite do it for me. I had some issues with it, as you can tell. But it's not bad. It's just okay for me. But I'm definitely intrigued. She has a couple adult series that I still want to read. Everything else I've read from her is like new adult age. And maybe her style of new adult college athletes just doesn't work for me anymore, which could be. But I'm still intrigued to read a couple of her more adult series and see how that goes. So I'm going to leave it at that. I still talked about it way much longer than I meant to, but I had to get some things off my chest. So for Gillathon, I applied this to musical May for the Be More Chill musical for the song Upgrade, of which the prompt is read a newly acquired book. And I checked this out on KU and immediately read it. For the Pretty Pretty Princess board game quarterly challenge, like I mentioned, I use this for Game Piece, which is something on the cover you play with, and he's holding his football. And so this officially, I have completed all of the main prompts for Pretty Pretty Princess. However, there is also an option for you to do bonus prompts, and I have one of my bonus prompts left. So I'm almost done with that, and that'll be super easy to get. It's like mid-June is when the end of this quarterly challenge ends, so I'll be able to get that quite easily. Then for Read the Season, I applied this to holiday number 4 for the letter H. Oh, and then for Hikeathon, like I mentioned earlier, I used this for the prompt for involving a game. Now, I still meant to pick up Fourth Wing, but I ended up not reading it at all this weekend. However, when I got home from work today, I did start it. So I am currently that far through. My goal tonight is to get to like 250 pages, because that's about halfway through. And then tomorrow night, my plan is to finish it. And then Wednesday is book club. So I'm hoping to get it done by then. And so so far I'm having a lot of fun with it. I did want to show you a couple things here. So the front, we have a map, which is super cool, and I love the dragons, if my camera will focus, and they're all over the like outside of the map, was just super cool. I mean, and I've showed this before, but of course it has the gorgeous sprayed edges. And then so you open it up and you've got your title page and your copyright page. And then, you know, more books from Rebecca. And then she does have a little like content warning page. And then this is her dedication page. And then we've got this. So this is set at the Basgaith War College. So we actually also get a map of the college campus itself. And then this. So this is before the book starts. And I read this. And this got me so excited for this book. This little thing. I'm going to read it out to you. The following text has been faithfully transcribed from Navarian into the modern language by Jessenia Neilwart, curator of the Scribe Quadrant at Basgaith War College. All events are true, and names have been preserved to honor the courage of those fallen. May their souls be condemned to Malak. Like, if that doesn't get you in the mood of reading a fantasy book, I don't know what does. I don't know why, but it just made me so excited to start reading this book. Just that tiny little flavor text just amped me up so much to going into this. So I know it's kind of making the rounds. And I haven't really seen much. I've seen a couple star ratings from my friends, but I haven't really dug too much into their review. But if you are not new here, you know I'm a dragon girly. As you know, obviously we were talking about Dungeons and Dragons earlier. I've always been a dragon person, but I'm that far. And we are just kind of meeting the dragons. So this is set in a college. And there are different quadrants of basically how you're going to be helping the military. And our heroine, Violet, she is the youngest daughter of like a really top general in this world. And she, her entire life, had planned to become a scribe. So the more, historians, I mean, you probably know what a scribe is just in normal language, but, they all about learning in the books and keeping records and tracking histories. And she's also been kind of very weak her whole life. Like, her bones easily break. There was a mention at some point, like, her ligaments don't quite work as well as other people's are. Like, they stretch very easily or something. So there's something interesting going with, I feel like she has some type of like chronic illness or something like that, or like the people that have, like, when they're over hyperextension, I think, like when they're like overly flexible, which my sister has, and is really creepy because she's like very double jointed, and she used to sit with like her arm up over, and the way her shoulder looks would just give me the heebie-jeebies. And I'm also double jointed, but just in my knees, which is really weird. So like most people, when they stand straight, they're like this, and my knees will be like this, but it'll be like, so like your knee, I don't know. I'm like trying to do this so I can, cause like, I don't know. It's hard. So like, okay. So my wrist is my knee. Most people's knees, when they bend, they go like this. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to make it so it makes sense. But okay. So here's your knee. And it typically bends this way. We'll say this is normal for your knee. It bends like this. So like here's the front of your knee, and it bends like this when you sit down. So you're sitting down, here's your knee, going back, here's your body. If that makes sense. Mine, so then when you stand up, it's like perfectly straight. Mine, when are like, they like go backwards. And so that was like something I always had to be super cautious about whenever I was in choir, because like most people are like, be careful, you will, block your blood flow, you'll pass out, that type of situation, which did actually happen to me once, but it wasn't at choir. It was during one of my dad's weddings to one of the stepmoms that is not a stepmom anymore. And I passed out like up at the front of the church. But anyway, so I feel like there's something kind of going on with her where she has some type of situation, but she's very book smart. And she has a little bit of sass to her, which I really like. But I'm going to hold this back up because we're talking about this book. And so she's just kind of learning. This is very brutal, very, very brutal. I mean, I think this is probably more brutal than Sophie Lark's Kingmaker series when it comes to like deadly colleges. But her mom is a dragon rider, and there's a couple different quadrants, and her mom is a dragon rider, and these are people who, this quadrant is only volunteer, supposedly. And it's like a big deal. You have like training, you have even to just get accepted after you take like the admissions test. There's like this huge parapet that you have to walk across safely to get to the other side. And they're like 15% of all people who are entering the college don't make it across the parapet. And then they're like, and once you start, and then you're paired off into your squadrons, which are a part of wings. And there's 4 wings, and then there's 3 squadrons in each wing. Or it's 3 wings. No, because it's the 4th wing. So it's 4 rings, 3 squadrons in each wing. And so then like other people can kill you if they think like you're weak or other things like that, but you're not supposed to kill people within your squad, unless it's like during like mat training, but you're supposed to kind of wait until things go further on. But you're basically proving your mettle that you can handle being in warlike situations and also have the strength of will and body to handle being a dragon rider. And so there's like different like crazy obstacle courses and like battle tournaments situations. And where I'm at is they are meeting the dragons for the first time. And so what's interesting about this is there are 6 dragon colors, and fun enough, the red dragons aren't like the big bad scary dragons. It's the black dragons and the blue dragons, but specifically the blue dragons, which I love because I am a red dragon fan, and I hate that they're always like seen as like the bad dragon. I know that's mostly because of Smog, but I just loved it. And so there's black, orange, brown, blue, red, and then there was another color. And then we found a golden dragon, but I don't think golden was mentioned in the original 6 when she was talking about dragons. But they also all have different like classifications, and it's based on their tail. So there's like sword tail, feather tail, like it's all different tails and what type of weapon their tail is styled after, which is really interesting. But so the dragon riders bond with a dragon, and it's the dragon's choice. And so there are quite a few times where dragons are asked if they are willing or if they're ready to be bonded with a rider. They will say yes, they will come up, and there's these different events that happen. Right now they are, I can't remember what it's called. I wish there was like a glossary. Maybe there is a glossary at the back of the book. But they're going through something that starts with a P. And it's presentation. And this is really the first time that they're seeing the dragons. So there's like 160 people-ish, I think, who have made it through this special obstacle course to get sorted into the presentation. And there are 101 dragons who have shown up possible to bond. And this is the first time that the dragons get to see the people or the potential dragon riders. They're called cadets. To see if there might be somebody that intrigues them. If they sense somebody is not right, there are quite a few people that we have seen as they're going through this presentation. Basically, they all walk single file line in front of this line of dragons. But quite a few people, the dragons are like, not you. And they like immediately like flamethrow them and they're ash. Like split second, they're like, So, it's very ruthless. Very, very ruthless. And so we've kind of met dragons for the first time. And I'm very intrigued. There was a mention of like this special black dragon. And so I'm like, is this black dragon going to show up? And somehow the black dragon is going to get paired with Violet. because she's our heroine, so she can't die, right? And I'm like, ooh, that'd be super cool. One of the most feared black dragons on Earth. And she's seen as like this weak, fragile person. And she gets paired with it. But now a golden dragon has shown up, and it's a feather tail, which is super rare. And so I'm like, oh, maybe she'll get paired with the golden dragon. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to pair her with all the dragons. And I love these dragons. But I love that it's the dragon's choice. Like, they choose the person who is worthy to bond to them. And then there's some sort of magical exchange. And it's just really, really interesting. But we have a lot of threats against Violet because of her mother. And because she looks weak. I mean, she was raised thinking she was going to become a scribe. So all of her time was spent in the library. She's always been a somewhat fragile physicality. Like, she just breaks bones very easily and stuff, like I mentioned. So she just looks more fragile than she really is. But so she makes friends with a couple of people. And then she has her childhood friend who is the son of one of her mother's like closest aides that she basically has grown up with. And he's 1 year above her, Dean. And so they've got some friendly, but they've kind of got a little bit of like chemistry between them a little bit. But I feel like he's not endgame, because then we have, I don't even know if I can say this right, Xaden? It's Xaden. And he is super powerful. He is a 3rd year. This is like a 3-year college. Your 1st year, and then once you bond with a dragon rider, your 2nd year. So you could repeat 1st year multiple times until you bond with a dragon. And then there's the 3rd year and you graduate. But he is a 3rd year, and he is like super powerful. He's bonded to one of the most powerful, and like, she will do whatever the heck she wants, blue dragons. But he is the son of like one of the big rebel leaders from the previous war, potentially. I don't know if it's a current war or a previous war. But we have a whole bunch of people who are children of traders, and they have these, they call them relics, and they're basically magic tattoos. And there's a lot of rules, like they can't be more than 3 people at a time, and because then it might seem like they're conspiring or something like that, because they are kids of traders. So there is some prejudice against them. But he, like, his parents were executed by Violet's mother. But then, you know, his people kind of executed her older brother. So we've got her still kind of grieving over her brother's death, and then her father started to have heart issues after her older brother died, and her father was a scribe like her, and so he always was like, you're going to become a scribe. But after her father died, her mother was like, no, what is their last name? Soaring Gales are dragon riders. So her mother basically forced her to become a dragon rider, and she only had like 6 months of training to prepare her for this. But she's able to kind of use her smarts to kind of get around things, and I really like that. But so there's this kind of slightly antagonistic relationship between her and Xaden, but at the same time, I feel like he's into her, and he doesn't know quite what to do with her. But he is kind of seeing that she's being coddled. Maybe not coddled, might be too strong of a word, but she's being very protected by those around her. And he is pushing her to kind of find that strength within herself to stand on her own. Not that she's not already, but to kind of help have them more teach her than protect her. And I feel like he's endgame, and I'm liking the vibe between them. It's kind of like an anti-hero-ish, gray villain-ish, but I don't think he's really going to be a villain. Maybe morally gray slightly. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by them. I'm intrigued by his dragon. Hi. And I'm just having a lot of fun. I'm really having a lot of fun. Like I said, I try not to read too much. I know it's been making the rounds. But, I mean, the first time we saw dragons, I was just like, oh my gosh, there's dragons here. So, you know, I'm easy. I'm a dragon girly. I'm easy. We will leave it at that. So, I'm going to stop talking because once again, we are at like 45 minutes because I just can't stop myself, but I'm having so much fun with this. So we're going to move on because I do have 2 packages I have to unwrap for you that I got. One I got this weekend and one I got today at work. And we're just going to do them really quick. So this is, speaking of dragons, Dracopolis. So this is by Q Workshop. This is a dice series that I backed on Kickstarter. I'll link their stuff down below if you want to check it out. But this, I've gotten a couple of their other dice sets previously. They're based out of Poland. But this theme of dice, Dracopolis, the theme around it was like you're finding fossils of dragons. So, you know, of course I had to back this. Of course I had to back this. And I can't remember what all is in here. So, let us see. Polish invoice. Okay, and I do know because I like jumped on it quickly, I got some like early bird stuff. So it looks like here's a coin. So I will open this up. This is cool. So we've got like a fossilized dragon skull. And then we've got Dracopolis. It's so cool. It's so cool. I love that they're like fossils too. Like it's not just dragons, it's dragon fossils. Like, I don't know, it just makes my nerdy heart happy. And then here is an interesting, this is a D4. Interesting. So it's shaped like this, which is crazy. So there's one. So one is like this. And then 3. And there's 4. Ah! And then there's also 2, but it just went under the couch. So we're just going to move on. And then here is Dracopolis, the Unseen Treasure. It's been so long since I backed this. I don't even remember. I don't even remember what color I got. I feel like I got the normal like bone color just because it's supposed to be fossils. Oh my gosh. It's a D4 in the blue color. Pretty. Look at that. That is so cool. I don't know if you can see the texture. Let me see if it'll get. Trying to like fix. It's got this really nice texture and it's like super blurry, so I don't know if you can see it. It's really, really cool. And it doesn't want to work, but that's really, really cool. Okay, so then here is Dracopolis dice. So excited. Okay. Okay, yep. So here is the set. Yep, and I did get the like parchment colors. So let me see if I can find the D20. So here is our D20. And this color I feel like might not show up super well. Here is some white paper. Maybe that'll help. So it is obviously not this white color. There we go. And it has a really nice texture. It has a really nice feel to it. And they're very light. And I love that like there's little bones on the corners. These are super pretty. I love those. Those are great. I can't wait to play with those. A golden Dracopolis ticket. 10% off fairs and conventions. That's cool if I went to conventions anymore. And then what is this? DSR News. A dragon giant skeleton buried in the sand. Oh my gosh, it's a fake newspaper, guys. Look at this. It's got a fake dragon fossil. Oh. Oh my god, that is so funny. Various dragon species categorize thanks to numerous new findings around the world. Oh my gosh. And then there's a couple different like articles on here. Okay, and then the back is all the people who backed them on Kickstarter. That is so cool. That is so much fun. I love that. Ugh, that is really cool. That is like a really neat little simple, easy thing to add in from a Kickstarter to like, that's really cool. I love that. I can't wait to like sit and read what their article says, but I'm not going to do that on camera. And then the other thing is I did get, they changed their paper, but this is my fortune cookie soapbox. So we're going to try to do that really quick. We're going to try. So I'm going to cut it open. I don't even know what this month's theme is. I have been so bad about going and checking their spoiler stuff. So this is the May 2023 box. If you have not seen me talk about them before, Fortune Cookie Soap, I will have them linked down below, is a small business based out of Oklahoma that does bath and body products. They're all small batch, handmade type things. Every month they have a subscription box for that month's theme and scent collection. I am on the grandfathered in old price. So if I remember correctly, the new price is $19.95 a month, with shipping. And then you also get a $10 off of $25 code that gets emailed to you when boxes start shipping out. And it's good for like 30 days. And it typically ships out around the 12th of the month. And when you pay for the subscription, you're like a month back because they like need to know how much stuff to make and then give everything time to cure. So it looks like May's theme is made with love. So it looks like it'll be like sweets based. Super fun. So we've got all of our scent descriptions on the back, and it looks like this is one of the quarterly boxes. So we have quite a few, of course. So extended launch party is May 26th at 6 p.m. CST. And then usually after they do the launch party on Facebook Live, the website goes up. So if you're interested in any of these, definitely check them out. Definitely sign up for the newsletter. They always have little mini collections going on, and they have a couple different holiday boxes that they do for Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. I didn't get the Easter one this year, but super fun. And then they usually have matching tissue paper. Everything's wrapped in. And then they also usually make 4 stickers, and you can buy, and it matches the theme. And then usually when the collection drops, you can buy a 4-pack, so one of each of the sticker designs for like $3.99 usually. So this is baked with love with a little mitten. That's cute. I love to turn these into magnets and decorate things with them. So let's just get into it because there's a lot here. And so I feel like this is the quarterly box because there's a lot of scents. Usually it's only like 4 cents. And we've got 6. Okay. Let's just get into it. So the first thing we have is Cake My Day, which is an aloe me whipped cream. So this is a mix of their aloe and their whipped cream, which is their thicker hand cream. So as you can see, it's half and half. Some people like to just use one over the other. Some people like to just mix it up in the jar. I like to dab a little bit of the cream and then a little bit of the aloe on top. And the aloe kind of helps lighten up the cream a little bit, which is perfect for summer months. But let's smell it. Oh, okay. For it being called cake, I'm getting more floral than I expected. There's definitely sweetness there. I feel like strawberries. I'm getting strawberries. But I'm getting something slightly florally too. But I don't know. I mean, that's a good smell. I'd give it like 4 out of 5 stars, but let's see what the description says. Okay, go ahead, cake my day with a golden shortcake topped with fresh strawberries and a big dollop of whipped cream. Well, I got the strawberries. I got some florally in there, though. But let's just move on. Okay, next is Nice Buns Body Scrub. I feel like, I do have to say, I feel like some of their packaging has gotten smaller here lately, which is fine, but okay, body scrub. So I don't know if this is going to be a sugar scrub or what's going on. It kind of has this weird film on it. Oh, there's a plastic film that... Okay, yeah, it looks like it is a sugar scrub. I can't tell if that's a film or if it just kind of slightly melted. That could be. So nice buns. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. It's this really pretty purple. Kind of matches my hat today. Ooh. I like that. I mean, I'm getting like caramely, maybe toffee. And like a little bit of nuts. I like that. I like that a lot. That smells really good. This one I did give 5 out of 5. I like that a lot. And it's making me salivate a little bit. That's how you know it smells good. So this is Nice Buns. That ass dough. Like D-O-U-G-H. A rich and creamy buttery toffee with a touch of crunchy nuts and gooey caramel drizzle. Well, I hit that right on the nose. Nice. My sniffer is not broken, guys. Okay, so next we have Whip It Real Good Whip Soap. Oh my gosh. I love their whip soap. I stopped using normal body wash and now I just use their whip soap as body wash. I love it. It is so moisturizing. They typically don't send it during the hotter months though because it can melt really easily. And I feel like, yeah, this is a smaller container than the mini whip soaps that you used to get. But that could be because we have so many things in this box. But I don't know, guys. I feel like things are getting a little bit smaller. So this does have a very light pink touch to the shade, but it's still very white. Ooh. I'm getting coconut. I'm getting so much coconut, and I love coconut. Ooh. Yeah. I need a new whip soap, so I'm going to put this in my... I'm probably going to use my code and get a full thing of this because I'm running low on my whip soap, and this is perfect for summertime. So this says, it's not too late to whip it and whip it good. Fluffy wisps of coconut, melted butter, and sweet vanilla combined with freshly baked shortbread cookies to make one scrumptious blend. I mostly just smelled the coconut. I could tell there was other sweet stuff in there, but I'm okay with that because I love coconut. So next we have Shut Your Pie Hole Sea Salt Hair Spritz. So this is kind of like a hairspray. I have a couple other mini bottles of this that I never ever use because I don't like to use hairspray at all. And I know this is supposed to be better and not as crunchy for your hair, but I just don't use stuff like this. But we'll smell, ooh, Shut Your Pie Hole. This is definitely citrusy, like lemon, lime. There's something else sweet in there, like maybe a vanilla or something to kind of add that sweetness. But this is mostly citrus based, which, I mean, it smells good. That's for sure. You Want a Piece of Me? A tasty blend of lime, green lemon zest, and tart kiwi atop sweet vanilla cream and a crumbly pie crust. You won't be able to have just one. I would totally get that in like a scent diffuser or a wax melt or something. I feel like that's a good like clean scent to have. And then here we have Half Baked, and this is a bubble scoop. So just a simple little bubble scoop. I'm guessing this will be more of a bakery scent. Ooh, okay, yeah, this definitely has some, I get some nutty. I'm getting chocolate. But also maybe a little bit of vanilla or... I'm getting a little bit of like chocolate and a little bit of caramel and some vanilla and a little bit of nuttiness. So I don't know what exactly that would be, but definitely like baked good. We made some special brownies. No, not like that. Get your head out of the mixing bowl. Sweet chocolate batter, butter, vanilla, and cream filled with southern pecans, crunchy praline, and a sticky caramel center. Can you tell that these are my kinds of scents? I'm just nailing these scent descriptions. And then the final thing we have is the namesake, the Fortune Cookie Soap. And the scent is Donuts Make Me Go Nuts, which is a super cute name. So let's see what it looks like. I'm super excited. I love these Fortune Cookie Soaps. I'm guessing they're going to look like some kind of donut. Oh, interesting. Okay, not what I expected. So this is like a dipped donut. So kind of like a dipped donut, but it definitely looks like lemon poppy seed to me. Like this looks like a lemon poppy seed muffin. It smells like a lemon poppy seed muffin. And as you can see, it's kind of hard. I pulled it out a little bit. They do have a little fortune that's inside of them too. I'm going to pop it back up. Yeah, this smells like a lemon poppy seed muffin. Which is weird because this is donuts, but it definitely is sweeter. Like there's definitely like icing or something. So a mix between a muffin and a donut, but the lemon is like super prominent. You'll go nuts over this bright mix of lemon poppy seed, brown sugar, and cake batter with a deliciously sweet blueberry glaze. You don't want to miss this. Okay, and that is the difference. It does smell slightly different where the pink glaze is. It also has a slightly different texture. But that smells great. I mean, I'd give this also 5 out of 5. So we have, I think the only one that I didn't give 5 out of 5 is this one, and I gave this one 4 out of 5. So, I mean, these like more food, fruity, bakery scents are definitely what I kind of go for. So if you also enjoy those scents, I highly recommend checking out this collection because all of this smells amazing. And I'm excited. I haven't gotten any extra stuff because I have so much stuff that, you know, when I moved and I organized things, I saw how much like things I have, but I definitely might have to get, I know I'm running low on like whip soap and stuff, so I might have to make a little purchase and get some of this coming because I definitely enjoyed a lot of this. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's already super long. So I'm going to take a shower and head to bed and try to get through, like I mentioned, halfway through Fourth Wing. But hopefully I will see you tomorrow. We will see what happens. But have a great night. Hello. Happy Wednesday. So I did not film a clip yesterday because I was going to focus on reading. But then I ended up binging a little documentary show on Netflix and didn't read that much. But we will talk about that a little bit in a moment. So we're going to do the quest calendar first, get that knocked out hopefully fairly quickly. We have 2 days to make up for. So Monday was where I last left you and we were repairing the hole outside. So I'm assuming we're going to maybe finalize our repairs or work our way back inside, but let's see. Oh, okay. All right. So it looks like more stuff is going on with our ship. A lot of damage to the hull of the Karnak remains to be fixed. Visit each damaged area and try to repair it. Okay, so it looks like we've got 1 here, 4 here, 3 here, and 2 here. So I guess we'll go 1, 4, 3, 2. Because I'm not 100% sure where we're starting, but we're just going to start at 1. All right, so number 1, decouple the auxiliary gear assembly. So wisdom roll, reminder engineering, and then broken terminal we do not have. So we do not have engineering and our wisdom is a +4. So let's see what happens. Okay, that is an 11, so 15. If the result is 15 or more, you successfully fix the auxiliary gear assembly. If all compartments are at full integrity, add 1 ship part to your inventory. Otherwise, restore 1 point of integrity to any ship compartment. Okay, so we'll continue on. I know that one of the ships has 1 more integrity damage than the other 2. Of the 3 compartments that have damage, so we'll apply it to that one. But we'll wait and see how much in total we can restore after all of this and then go from there. So we were going to do number 1, then number 4. Reroute the magnetic coupling loop. So this also has the broken terminal note, of which we don't have. So this is a intellect roll reminder computers. So our intellect is a 1 and we do have computers. So that's a +3. Okay, and that is a 12. So 15 again. If the result is 15 or more, you successfully fix the magnetic coupling loop. If all compartments are at full integrity, add 1 ship parts to your inventory. Otherwise, restore 1 point of integrity to any ship compartment. Perfect. Okay, so that is number 4. So then we'll go to number 3. Repair the harmonic reaction infuser. So another wisdom, reminder, engineering. So once again, our wisdom is a +4. And the broken terminal note is the only other thing we need to know. But it does not apply. And that is a 16, so 20 total. This one is also, if the result is 15 or more, you successfully fix the harmonic reaction infuser. If all compartments are at full integrity, add 1 ship parts to your inventory. Otherwise, restore 1 point of integrity to any ship compartment. So we've now been able to heal 3 points of integrity. I don't know how much total damage we have yet, so I will just wait until we finish the last section, which is number 2, which is realign the primary torsional modulator. So this one is intellect reminder computers. So that is the total of +3 once again. And that is a 17. So 20 total. And this one was number 2. So once again, if the result is 15 or more, you successfully fix the primary torsional modulator. If all compartments are at full integrity, add 1 ship parts to your inventory. Otherwise, restore 1 point of integrity to a ship compartment. Okay, so we have a total, before we move on, of healing 4 damage. So let me switch to my... Okay, so we have 1 damage to the bridge, 1 damage to the labs, and 2 damage to the cargo. And we can heal 4. So we've officially healed all of our integrity, which is great because even though we have a bunch of ship parts, now we can save those ship parts for whatever possible future damage might happen. And I love that they're giving us the chance to heal before, you know, we stop like at a dock or rest or something, and we're getting a chance in game outside of the normal mechanics to heal our ship. So we're back to full. That is great. So if there's any other thing like that in the future, we will be collecting ship parts moving forward. So great, that is that. So we have officially repaired all 4 parts of the Karnak. So let's see what today's page is. Oh, okay, looks like we're still dealing with stuff outside. The captain calls out a warning through the comm device. Keep your eyes open out there. Systems are reporting an instability in shell pressure. A loud hiss is heard throughout the ship. As a panel gets ripped off, pieces of shredded metal are sent flying towards you. How? Okay, so avoid the shards of metal, dexterity roll, reminder, danger sense. All right. The metal fragments get ripped from the ship at such high velocity that they can shred through flesh. Multiple pieces go flying in all directions. You will need to dodge out of the way as several deadly pieces pass by. So we're going to have to do this 3 times. So this is dexterity roll, reminder, danger sense. So we do have dexterity, and we do, our dexterity is +4, and our danger sense is a +2. So we get a +6 to all 3 rolls, which is great. Okay, so let's just get to it. So number 1, that is a 17. So we are at 23. If the result is 15 or more, you avoid getting hit by the sharp metal debris. Okay, perfect. So it looks like all 3 are the same exact results. So I will just kind of read out what happens if we hit a 15 or higher. And that is an 8 because, of course, I said that. So that is a 14. So number 2, if the result is between 8 and 14, you are slammed by some debris. Reduce your health by 1. Okay. And then on to the third and final dodging. That is a 19. So we are over the 15. So we just take the 1 point of damage to ourselves. From that. So I will put a tick mark there for damage we have sustained. Alrighty, and that is it for the quest calendar. Okay, so like I mentioned last night, I did do a little bit of reading, not as much as I wanted to. I was hoping to finish Fourth Wing. Now I ended up not finishing Fourth Wing last night. And then I was able to read I didn't read when I got home because the book club was tonight and it started at 5. So I didn't get home till like 5:10ish, 5:15ish by the time I was able to pull it up. So I have 50-ish pages left. I'll show you where I'm at here in a second. I'm just packing up the calendar. I don't want to talk too much about it because I did talk a lot about it yesterday, and because I'm close enough to finishing, I kind of want to wait until it's done and give my kind of final thoughts. But that's where I'm at. This is what I have left. So I am on page 423, chapter 33. So I should be able to finish it tonight. I will stay up a little late and just try to get it done. But the only thing I do kind of want to mention is I like where it kind of seemed like we were trying to set up a love triangle, and I was like, but very quickly, you, at least as a reader, you kind of get the sense that it's not a love triangle. Dane, isn't treating her how she expects, like, I don't know, he's just not treating her as an equal. He's treating her like as a little sister, somebody he has to coddle and protect, and not really seeing her for who she is. But that also could be, it's been a year since he's seen her. And yeah, they're doing all this training at the school right now to help kind of strengthen her and her abilities and her body. But she also went 6 months of training before joining the college that he didn't see, on top of it being a year since he has last seen her. So I'm glad that kind of seems like that's not a thing. Now I did kind of get a little bit of spoils for the book club, which I was slightly nervous about, but it's fine. It's fine. I have just such little amount left in the book. It's okay. I did go ahead because right now it's sitting like at a 4.5 stars, just kind of depending on how things go. So I am overall enjoying it. It isn't perfect. I do have some nitpicky things about it, but overall I'm really having fun and I'm really enjoying myself. But I feel like a lot of the things that people are having issues with the book are things that don't typically really bother me. So I'm going to leave it at that. And then I will also mention, in my previous clip, I was just like, there was a little mention of the black dragon, and I was like, oh, is she going to be with the black dragon? And then the gold dragon showed up, and I was like, ooh, is she going to be with the gold dragon? And obviously I'm going into spoilers because I've spoiled lots of stuff until we're going here, but like, this is like a spoiler. She gets both. She bonds with 2 dragons. I was completely flabbergasted last night when I read that. I was just like, what? So I love that. I love it. So, and I'm loving the camaraderie between them. I definitely want to learn more about the dragons and the history. I feel like in future books, we will learn more about that, because I will say, I feel like a lot of people are disappointed in the world building situation, but I feel like I'm okay with this. Like, I definitely have questions and I want to know more about the world and about this former rebellion that happened and the dragons and just their situation. But at the same time, I feel like starting in a little bit, because even though this is marketed as new adult, I feel like it's definitely more young adult, which is weird because I never really read young adult until I read Sarah J. Maas. And so that's just never been something that seemed to interest me and not something that I've really enjoyed the couple times that I've tried to read it before I read Sarah J. Maas. So it's interesting that this is like really doing it for me, because this definitely has a YA feel, even though it's marketed new adult, because we do have some spicy, steamy scenes. So it's kind of towing the line there for me. But at the same time, I kind of understand it, and even though they're in their 20s, early 20s, in the new adult range, I feel like it makes sense, especially for Violet, to not maybe be as mature because of the weird way that she was raised, where, yeah, she has a lot of world information because her mother's been so high and her father was a scribe, but at the same time, she was kept kind of very coddled and very safe, and she was into the library, she was training to be a scribe, so she definitely, I felt like, is lacking a lot of like street smarts, so to speak, although she does have some street smarts. So there's I don't know, there's some nuances that are kind of off, but I don't know. I'm just enjoying it, and I don't know why I feel like I have to stand up for the fact that I'm super enjoying it, because there's a lot of people who are enjoying this book, but there are a lot of people who also had a lot of issues with it, and I guess I see those issues and I'm like, yes, 100%, those are issues, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying the book. I am able to look past those things, I guess, is the biggest thing for me. So I guess I'll say that, and I'll stop talking about it. And I don't know if I'm going to pick something up after I finish that tonight. It's already a little late. We're getting close to 11 o'clock here. So the other thing is, I got a package yesterday and it's been sitting on my desk and I've been wanting to open it, but I was like, no, we're going to open it on camera because I'd like to have this moment immortalized. I got a package. I got a package. Oh God, I'm like freaking out right now. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. Oh my gosh, it's damaged. The corner's all damaged. I can see that it's damaged. Oh. All right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am like freaking out. I'm freaking out. Can you tell what book this is? Oh, I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look. I hope that bent cover, that bent edge of the cover is on the back and not the front. Otherwise, I might complain and ask for a new one, but we will see how bad it is. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. But I have finally had my copy, and it is on the front. I can feel it. I'll see if I can try to smush it down. Grim and Barrett, guys. I finally have my physical copy of Grim and Barrett. And I could put it on my shelf. I'm so excited. Okay, I need to look at this in person here. Oh my gosh, the cupcakes. I mean, I've seen this cover and I've definitely like blown up the image of it so I can see all of the little nuances. Grim and Barrett in paperback. Ugh, and we've got the raven on the back. Ugh, and I love that we have feathers and then a little heart like potion bottle, which is the same as the one on the front with the butterfly inside of it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to put this on my shelf with the other ones. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I can't wait for whatever's coming next from Juliet, but I'm happy. I'm really happy right now in this moment. And we will leave it at that. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a good Thursday. Hello, happy Friday. I have some updates. So I did not film a clip last night. Partly because my sty was draining and my eye was just so swollen and not happy with me. And then I just kind of wasn't really feeling it. I was just feeling kind of goopy and yucky and just not in a good place. So, but I do have some books to update you on. So let's do books and then we'll catch up on the quest calendar and wrap up this week. So I did finish Wednesday night after book club, The Fourth Wing, or Fourth Wing. I keep saying The Fourth Wing, but there's no the. It's just Fourth Wing. I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. I really just had so much fun with it. I thought it was an absolute blast. I was surprised about a couple twists that happened at the end. I don't really want to spoil it too much, but oh my gosh. One of the things was kind of slightly mentioned during the book club meeting. So it was a tiny bit spoiled for me, but that didn't curb my enjoyment. It just made me more excited to get to that like big final moment. And I really enjoyed this. I will say, I understand a lot of the things that people had issues with, and I see those, and I did recognize those as things that weren't perfect about this book. However, it has not affected my enjoyment of this book hardly at all. It wasn't quite a 5 stars because some of those things did. I was a little like, but overall, I just had so much fun with this. So 4.5 stars. I rounded it up to 5. I just really enjoyed it. I have pre-ordered the second book. I mean, at the very least, if anything, because this was so dang hard to find, they have announced that the second book is also going to have sprayed edges. I don't know if it's going to have a fun dragon design like this one had or what, but if anything, because it was so hard to find and I enjoyed this book, I went ahead and pre-ordered it. So we'll see. And this is the Red Tower imprint from Entangled, which I think is their newer fantasy imprint. So I think it's mostly new adult fantasies, but I'm definitely intrigued. I'll have to keep an eye on what they're going to be releasing in the future fantasy-wise. But yeah, I am on team yay when it comes to this book. Oh, I should say, for my reading challenges for Gildathon, I applied this to the musical May prompt, for the musical Wicked and the song Popular for Hyped Book, because this book is everywhere right now. For Read the Season, I moved this to holiday number 5 to use for the letter E, because this is the first book in the Imperium series, which starts with an E. So EMPYREAN, which is like what, I don't know, the head dragon committee, dragon politics, whatever their grouping is called the Imperium, which is fun. For Hikeathon, this worked for a book with a map. So officially, this is my final book for Hikeathon. And May Day, I use this for Pikake, which is a book that was featured on Keshia's feed. I had a lot of other options for that, but she is another one who enjoyed this book. And so when I saw that she posted about this, I was like, perfect. It's a book I was already planning on reading, and it will take care of that prompt. And I'm almost done with Mayday now. So after I finished this Wednesday, I ended up not picking up anything else. However, I did end up with one prompt left for the Pretty Pretty Princess quarterly board game challenge, and that was actually one of my bonus prompts for the letter O. So I was looking through and trying to find a book that I either added to my TBR recently, already had it downloaded on my Kindle, added to my KU interested list for either an author's first, last name, the book title, or the book series to start with the letter O. It took me a while to find something, but I settled on Truth or Dare by Brianna Ocampo. Okay. I thought this was perfect. This is interesting. I recently saw this in one of the posts that Jackie Lau has been doing for AAPI Celebration Month. This is by a Filipino author. It is set in the Philippines, I believe. And it sounded right up my alley. So I'm trying to get things somewhat settled here. And I did not return it to KU. Hi, please move. So I read this Thursday night. Let me see. I tried not to return it yet. Yes, okay. It's still on my Kindle. Because I wanted to read you the blurb. Because I read the blurb. Because I wanted to read something that I was interested in, right? So this is a very quick blurb. I'm just going to read it to you. Of course, my Kindle is now loading because I didn't think to preload it before I sat down and started filming. So here we go. 9 years in the friend zone, one night to break the rules. Cassie Flores has been in love with her best friend forever. When she finally dares Santino to make a move, the truth will either break her heart, ... or capture his for good. So, Truth or Dare. I'm guessing this is what kind of they get dared to, or truth question. I'm guessing. So me going into this, my guess was they get dared to kiss each other, or they get dared to kiss somebody else, and either of them or both of them get jealous, and that's what kind of pushes them finally moving out of the friend zone. I mean, it sounds like catnip to me. Oh boy, I'm giving this book 2.5 stars. And that's being very generous. I read the first chapter. I was all in. I thought it was kind of interesting. So they're at this whole party and they're friends from college. They're like 30 or 31, like they're very early 30s. And Cassie is there with Christian, this is like on a first date or a second date, like they just recently started dating. And there is a truth question that pops up, and Santino, because they have been childhood friends, and then when they were 21, so they're 30, when they were 21, there was a moment where she'd been crushing on him. She finally made a move. She kissed him, and he was just like, whoa, what are you doing? We're friends. And so she's been kind of pining for him since then. She's tried to move on, but she just can't seem to get away from her love for him. He has also been attracted to her, but I feel like if he is pining, he's hidden it a lot better. But so he's there with this Christian guy, and I can't remember. It's kiss who you want to the most, or it's kind of weirdly worded. And she knows who she really wants to kiss is Santino. She's the one who she wants the most. But she kisses the guy that she's with there, Christian, and they kind of get caught away in the moment and start making out. And Santino kind of freaks out, is like, hey, party over. They've kind of ruined the mood here. They've been drinking, so Santino is like, I'll drive you home, and then I'll catch and the Filipino version of Uber back. Well, while he's driving Cassie's car back to her place, Cassie and Christian are in the back seat, and he starts touching her, and there's fingers involved, and he kind of convinces her, or gets her like all hot and bothered in the moment, to tell Santino what is happening while he's driving them there. He's getting very turned on. And imagine my surprise when the 6-chapter novella has 4.5 chapters of MMF. So, this is definitely an erotic romance. Even kind of calling it a romance is kind of pushing it for me. I did not look at any reviews on Amazon. I just looked at reviews on Goodreads. I was on Amazon. There's only 2 reviews for this book on Amazon, and they both were like super spicy, love it, the best friends trope, love it. And it was like very like no mention in either of those 2 reviews that there's a menage situation, that it's an MMF situation. So I sped read / skimmed most of this book. I'm still going to count it as read, but I'm not a fan of MMF. Okay, that's not true. I'm not a fan of any menage. I'm not a fan of poly. I am very much a 2-person, doesn't matter the gender. I just like 2 people and just 2 people. And I honestly don't believe. And the conversation that they have in the last chapter to begin their romantic relationship did not feel like it was enough. And I'm sorry, but are you really going to be together forever? Is this really an HEA? Is it really? The only reason he was pushed out of the friend zone is because he was invited and turned on by seeing Cassie make out with this other dude, and then was invited to have a threesome with them. And like you can tell he loves Cassie. He has feelings for Cassie. He, outside of just he loves her as a best friend, knowing her his whole life, pretty much. But I needed more push. And I also would have liked it if not all of the steam was this menage scene. Because, I don't know. When it first started, I was like, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this? And I was like, okay, fine. So I started skimming it because I was like, okay, we'll move on. We'll have this hot threesome. And then, my thinking was, the novella, this is going to be a little sped up. Okay, next morning, I'm thinking, well, I'm skimming this, just like at that point, I was kind of skimming. I was more speed reading than skimming, I guess. And in my brain, I'm going, okay, we're going to get past this night. And he's going to be like, yeah, that was fun, but I don't want to do that again. I don't want to share with anybody. Or let's just be friends with benefits now. Or I was thinking like somehow this would come down to the twosome. And this entire book is basically that night. And the final chapter, chapter 6, starts off with Santino and Cassie waking up alone. And then Christian pops up. And he's like, I went to get breakfast. And he basically matchmakes them together. And he says that he's done this kind of thing before. And then it turns out he's like some famous person that they supposedly didn't recognize. But they were like, he looks familiar. But all of a sudden he's like this famous person. and he like matchmakes couples who like clearly have a thing for each other but haven't made a move by doing threesomes or something like that. I don't know. I just didn't understand it. And I don't understand how having a threesome, I just didn't understand it. It didn't make sense to my brain, and it was well written. It just wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I was expecting. The Menage, there wasn't a Menage tag. There wasn't an MMF tag on Amazon. It wasn't mentioned in those 2 reviews. I did, after the fact, when I was doing my stats and all that, noticed 4 or 5 reviews down on Goodreads, someone finally mentioned it was an MMF. But even then, everybody just was like, whoa, super spicy. I need to know how many partners are going to be in there, because I don't know. I'm debating on if I want to leave my rating visible, or if I just do the rating for my personal stuff and then just not rate it on Goodreads, and then just put, I do not enjoy Menage, multiple partners. I prefer a 2-person couple, and that was not in the blurb. And so I was incredibly disappointed in this book, but that has nothing on the writing. So I don't know. If you like Menages, if you're looking for a new author, if you're looking for some Filipino rep, there was definitely, I would have liked like a glossary or something, or sometimes they would speak in Filipino, and then I was kind of expecting, I guess because I've read a lot of books where they talk in other languages, then for either the translations to be at the end as a little like fun thing for the reader to see, or it's like translated in parentheses or something like that. But that wasn't in this book that I saw. So that was a little disappointing. And then sometimes they were like very specific words used, like they have a different system. They don't call it Uber. It's a different name. But after I heard it 3 or 4 times, I finally was like, oh, I understand what that is now. I wish those things would have been for the non-Filipino readers explained, like the first time they're mentioned. And so there were quite a few little one-off words where I was just like, I don't know what that is. I tried to click on it, and Filipino is not a basic, or from what, I don't know if you can add it, but it wasn't one of the translation languages on my Kindle Paperwhite. So I was like, I don't know what it is. But at that point, I was just going through it, that I was just like, I'll look it up later if I care, but then I didn't, because I was just frustrated with the book. So I'm going to really leave it at that, because I talked about it longer than I meant to do, but it just really kind of frustrated me that it wasn't mentioned that this was an MMF. And it's not, I just don't. I can handle it better if I go in prepared for it, but I was not prepared at all. From that blurb, I was expecting a cutesy, finally pushed past, steamy novella of 2 childhood friends finally getting out of the friend zone. And even then, their talk about getting out of the friend zone didn't really feel like it had the weight that it needed for whatever the issues were. So I was just really disappointed in this. As for reading challenges, I used this for Guildathon. I applied this to Musical May for Into the Unknown from the Frozen musical. And the prompt for that is read a new TU author. And then, like I mentioned, this works for the letter O for my bonus prompts for the Pretty Pretty Princess Board Game Quarterly Challenge. I saw little kitty ears peeking up here. Oh, goodness. And so that is officially over. Then for Read the Season, I applied this to holiday number 6 for also the letter O. And then for May Day, I used this for Tea Leaf, which is diverse or minority rep. And like I mentioned, this is Filipino characters. This is by a Filipino author. So we've got I think this is the first time I've read like full Filipino. I think I've read books where one of the characters was Filipino, but I don't think the author was Filipino that I remember. Maybe I have, but this is the first that I can like remember where everything is Filipino in it. So that's exciting. And that officially finishes May Day is Lay Day in Hawaii. Nay? So 2 challenges are done, which is great. And there is that. As for what else, this morning before work, I had like 20 minutes before I had to leave, and I was like, I need to pick something else. I need to pick something good. I was looking for something more cozy. I needed to pick up my Vivian Lorette because I need to read a historical before the end of the month, but I'm going to try to read it this weekend. But I started the new release, Scoring with the Player by Rebecca Genchak. This is book 3 in the Campus Wallflower series, and I am excited. This is Dahlia's book. She's one of the 4 main characters, and her hero is Felix, who we have met before. We kind of saw him a little bit in book 2, because he is friends with Gavin, who's the hero from book 2, but we mostly saw him because he's the older brother of the twins who are the Holiday with the Players duet. Yeah. And so I'm just like, so those 2 series are now connected officially, like they were before, but now they're officially connected. And I'm having so much fun with this. Dahlia is certainly, she's our like overly shy character. Like I feel like Daisy was shy too, but I feel like Daisy is like the introverted or the extroverted introvert, where when she's around people she's comfortable with, she is very extroverted. But I feel like Dahlia is just shy and an introverted introvert. And so I'm excited for this, and it's kind of fake dating-ish is what it seems like it's gonna be, because every time she runs into Felix, because like I mentioned, he's friends with Gavin, so now that the girls, Daisy and Violet, are dating Jordan and Gavin, they're going to a lot more of these sports parties, so Dahlia's been running into Gavin more, and she's so into him, and he is like so hot to her, and she's so nervous. She is a virgin. She's never had a boyfriend. She's never been kissed. She's gone on dates, but she's never had like a boyfriend. And she's like, he's stupid hot, and he's stupid hot because he makes me feel stupid because I can't say anything, and I just get so tongue-tied around him. And she's talking to Jane in line while Jane's trying to go to the bathroom, and some woman films Dahlia talking to Jane, and she's talking about how what is it that she says? She goes on this like rant about him, but at the end she says something like she wants to lick his torso and climb him like a tree or something. And of course this goes viral around campus because Felix is, of course, the quarterback. He's a senior. The girls are juniors this year, which is fun. And she kind of becomes a viral sensation, which she has like a complete freak out about, because she is an introverted introvert who's shy and tries to stay as invisible. Like there's a couple of moments where she says just like she always smiles, and she always tries to smile like fully instead of the half smile, because she feels like happy people are more invisible. So she like intentionally smiles like full every time. And I was just like, I feel you, girl. I feel you. So yeah, we'll see. So, a couple weeks kind of go by, and people are still kind of talking to her about it and pointing it out. And it's kind of this awkward situation for her. And she feels like she can't really go anywhere. And so Felix proposes them to kind of fake date so that people kind of back off. So we'll see. He doesn't want a girlfriend because he's been burned by someone. So we do kind of have a little bit of ex drama, it seems like, which is not my favorite. But I feel like some of those more stereotypical expected tropes Rebecca does have, but I feel like the way that she writes is just so cozy for me that I can look past those like stereotypes. They're the like commonplace tropes and things like that, but we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to read it. So I need to finish this weekend, and I need to read that Vivian the Red List this weekend. But I have so many plans. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm now at 26%. I don't know if I said that. I was only like at 5% this morning before I went to work, but now I'm at 26% because I did read when I got home, because I got off work early for Memorial Day. So I have 3 days, and I have a big to-do list, which means that even though I have an extra day off, I have less reading time because I have so much I would like to do, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to stop rambling at you because this has been a long clip, but I'm enjoying this book so far. So, let's do our 2 days of the quest calendar and then wrap this sucker up. So, we left on Wednesday with issues kind of going while we were, what was it? Oh, we were dodging pieces of shredded metal. Okay. Ooh. All right. So it looks like we're still having spaceflight issues of some kind. One of the shards of metal slices through your tethered safety line. You get pulled off the ship and spin uncontrollably as you begin to drift off into the void. Wow. Well, that came out of nowhere. 1, maintain a calm demeanor. I am not calm. And 2, stabilize yourself. Okay. Can you believe that? I know. Okay, number 1, maintain a calm demeanor. Your heart starts to race as a sort of unconscious terror starts to set in. You need to meditate and calm down. You need to calm down. Constitution roll. That's what it is. How about you calm down over there? Wow. 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 My goodness. She was sleeping so hard earlier in the she was like curled up in the blankets, and I went to I was like calling her, and I was like, dinner time, and usually like 5 minutes before it's dinner time, she's awake and she's like, hey, it's dinner time. And she was sleeping, and I started petting her, and she like was so zonked out she wasn't waking up. And then all of a sudden she was like, wah, 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 and then she like looked at me like, hi. I was like, hi, you're sleeping. And she had the like sleepy face, and then it took her like, and then she kind of sat there and was like waking up, and then finally she was like, oh, it's dinner time. I was laughing so hard. She cracks me up so much. But anyway, Constitution roll. 16. Okay, what's our Constitution? It's a +1. So 17. Hopefully that's enough. Okay, if the result is 15 or more, you slow your breathing and keep focus on what you can do while you wait for someone from the ship to come rescue you. Gain a +2 bonus to stabilize yourself, number 2 below. Perfect. Okay, so stabilize yourself. You are spinning out of control. Your body's equilibrium is thrown off balance, and you are starting to get sick. You can't take much more of this. So dexterity with the skill athlete plus our bonus 2. So our dexterity is a +4, and we do have athlete, which adds a +2, and then our bonus 2. So we get a +8 to this roll, which is great. And that is a 9, so 17. If the result is 15 or more, you regulate your movements enough to slow the turbulent spinning. You should be okay for a while until you are rescued. Okay, and then we have a narrative. Eventually, you are found. Nathan carefully guides the ship, so you enter the airlock. How long? Eventually? How long were we just drifting in the void of space? Because I feel like we would have some emotional and psychological trauma from that. But apparently we're fine. So, all right. Thankfully we're rescued. Are we back inside? We are back inside. Okay, and it looks like we are back in the cockpit and we are getting ready to travel somewhere else. I don't know what's going on, but the cloud artwork is absolutely gorgeous in the background. You know, and I feel like all of this like star artwork in the background of the cockpit has been different on every single page. It'd be interesting to go through and see if they are or not. But anyway, we'll just move forward. We should be in the right place. We just need to spend some time scanning and searching for this lab. Okay, so apparently we just kept traveling and we should be there now. All right, so either A, fly with manual controls, or B, rely on a charted course. So let's see what we got. Okay, so it looks like no matter what option we choose, it's the same results because it just says A and B and all the results are under the same thing. So they're not separated. So fly the Karnak, find the lab. So it's either dexterity with piloting or wisdom with piloting. We do not have piloting. And our dexterity and our wisdom is both a 4. So it don't matter. And that is a 17. Nice. So 21. Okay, if the result is 15 or more, you are lucky to discover the lab quickly. Gain 1 credit. You must consume 1 meal ration during the journey. You find a traveling merchant selling some wares from her ship. Okay. All right. So she has a repair kit, a med kit, ship parts, and antidotes. Okay, so the ship parts is what I am worried about. So I have 18 ship parts here. So, but I think actually we healed all of our damage. We were able to heal all of our damage previously. So I think I'm going to leave it at 18 ship parts. That sounds good. I would get more rations just to kind of up us back up, but she's not selling that. So I think we're good on that. So I'll gain a credit and I will minus our meal ration. And is that today's? I think that's it. Fix this. Okay, so we're down to 6 meal rations. And we are at 238 in gold now. Okay, we have so much gold. We have 238 gold, which is crazy. Okay, yep, and that was Friday, so that's it. So that's all I have for you this week. So I feel like I've done a little better updating this week. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see when I sit down to edit it, how many different clips I have. But I feel like it was a decent week. I kind of went on a roller coaster, but I read quite a few books. I read a not so good book, but yeah, I'm excited. I can't believe we're already at the end of May, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to leave me a comment down below, let me know if you have any plans for Memorial Day, or if you had any plans for Memorial Day, since this video is going up after. If you'd like to leave me an emoji down below, leave me a dragon or an egg or something dragon related. I don't even know if there's a dragon emoji, but if not, just write dragon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon with another video.